Lauren Goodell, welcome to everybody in Charlotte.
It's about time.
It is about time. Great response. Yeah, so you came in here, I mean, you're right, probably like a year ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. We sat down, we talked about your company, and then over time it was like, I think you should come in. I'd love to have you on mine. And you were like, okay. And then we rescheduled and rescheduled and rescheduled and
I
rescheduled
think I had
on,
strep, and then
but
you had a flight
oh
delay, and then
God,
I was traveling.
everything.
It was always something.
It was an amazing series of events. But here we are. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for making the time. Let's start. I have no agenda here. I have no prep. I don't prep. I consider this you and I sitting down having coffee and just catching up. And I like to see where conversations go because I don't want them to be forced. Naturally, I will ask about your businesses and that kind of stuff. So let's start with a little bit of bio for anyone that just perchance doesn't know who you are. Where are you from?
I'm from Nebraska, Elkhorn, Nebraska originally.
Wonderful. Nebraska. Where'd you go to college?
I went to University of Nebraska.
University of Nebraska.
Of course
All right.
I did. I'm a Cornhusker.
I love it. Love it. All right. And then what?
I grew up in Nebraska. I went to college there, and then I went straight to Microsoft right out of undergrad, and I moved to Dallas.
Dallas, Microsoft. Okay.
Was there for about 5 years. Microsoft's an incredible company to work for.
Cool.
Thought I would stay there forever.
Really?
But one of my mentors was, he called me and was like, hey, I want to let you know that I'm moving over to Salesforce. And I was like, no, you can't leave me. You've been a great advocate, mentor to me. And he said, don't worry, I'm bringing you with me.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, I don't want to leave. And he's like, I'll make it worth your time. So he did. And I left. And Salesforce was also an awesome company.
Wow. Two incredible companies.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Salesforce, was that in Washington? Where was Salesforce?
I was remote.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
I actually was working out of Charlotte at the time.
Interesting. What brought you here?
I moved here for the job.
For the job. Got it. Salesforce, Charlotte. How long have you been in Charlotte?
I've been here for 7 years now.
Okay.
Which is crazy to say. This is the longest I've lived anywhere since elementary school. So
Do you like it?
I do. I always say that Charlotte people don't get upset about this, but it's not the most exciting city, but it's a really great city to live in.
Yeah.
It's like, I wouldn't be
That's
like,
a good
go
way to say
visit
it.
Charlotte, but
Sure.
there's everything that you need. People are kind, it's safe, it's relatively affordable.
Yeah.
Although that's changing a bit.
It is changing. Well, and I would say the excitement is changing. You know,
I would agree with that. There's a lot more happening.
I mean, I'm an advocate. I'm from here. I'm born and raised Charlotte. So I've seen it go from small town to small city to now fairly big city. And now the art and the culture and all the things are starting to catch up. I mean, I'm from here, so I know where the pockets of that stuff are. You know, people always say, oh, banking town, there's nothing here. I'm like, follow me around sometime. I'll show you where the cool stuff is because it's around. It's just not as accessible and known in the public. And it's beginning to be, right?
Okay.
I mean,
so what's your favorite neighborhood then?
well, well, the one I live in for sure. I live in Dilworth, which is just right next to South End, and South End's blowing up, and the proximity to everything is just perfect for me. I'm also older with an older child, and it's not even a child anymore. Good God. So I love Dilworth, but I mean, you know, if I were in my 20s, it would be, you know, it'd be Elizabeth, or it'd be Plaza, or it'd be Noda, or one of these places that. But shoot, now you're looking out at the Ballantine Bowl, and I mean, is brand new and is shiny and kind of, you know, a lot of people frown on that stuff. It's still phenomenal. It's a great place.
It's a great place.
It's
I'm
pretty
partial
cool.
to Noda personally, but
I mean, how do you not be?
No.
There's a heart in there. It's pretty cool. It's small though, and it's getting bigger, but it used to be just that one strip. Back in the day, that area was called Fat City.
I love it.
There's a building in there, and somebody's gonna watch this and correct me on it, but because I don't remember it all. But I went to high school at West Charlotte, and so that area was zoned for my high school, and a lot of my brother's friends were from around that area, and they always called it Fat City. There's a building out there that has a permanent etching in it that says Fat City something, and so they just called the area Fat City. It's a great name.
I might have to check it out.
Yeah, we need to do a little history there. I should have. I wish I knew the history because it's a cool name. But it's always been that kind of little, call it the arts district, which is such.
I moved from New Orleans. I spent 4 years in New Orleans.
Exactly.
And I came and I was like, what's the closest thing to New Orleans? And I was like, Noda, even though it is like one street, but it does have a little bit of that heart.
It's got a little heart.
A little bit.
Yeah, nothing like New Orleans.
No.
I had a friend here who was from New Orleans, who lived right down the street from us, and she just moved here. I met her in New York City, and she was so excited to come to Charlotte, and she's like, "Oh, I hear there's an arts district." I was like,
Like,
"There's not. I'm
you're about to be
sorry."
sorely
I know.
disappointed.
She ended up moving back to
But
New Orleans.
yeah.
All right, so we'll move forward. So tell me the inception of is it Inception? Yes.
Inception.
It's not Conception.
It's sure
It
not
would,
that
not
one.
be that
That
one.
would be strange.
That would be Inception of Zinnia.
Yes. So my entire career at Microsoft and Salesforce, I was an account executive. So I was in sales, enterprise sales, closing, $5-10 million deals. And the kind of sale that is important there is really focusing on the human, what's important to them, all that kind of stuff. So I did a lot of manual work to creep on who is Robbie, what's important to him, what's his personality type, what does the company's 10K or SEC filing say about them. All this is like super manual work. And I wanted to be able to take all that stuff that I did that made me the top rep and then give that to every salesperson and give them time back. So that was kind of the inception of Zinnia.
Got it. And AI is bulldozing its way into the world, and what better way?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, it makes perfect sense.
We always say that we're trying to use AI to make people more human. Which feels a little bit,
that's a good
contradictory.
It's a good tagline.
But yes.
I just put up a post on LinkedIn this morning about optimization versus humanity.
Ooh, so good.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk some of that sales stuff, just because I'm interested in it, because I mean, I'm kind of a salesperson at heart, but I'm more of just kind of a social being.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy intimate conversations, authentic conversations, even vulnerable. I was a therapist for over 10 years. And so this kind of conversation where there's no music, there's no phones, we are looking at each other and we are talking. This is the good stuff. It's my favorite thing because I feel like I can get to know so much about a person, not just through their words, but through this proximity, this vibe. And sales is such a piece of that. Yes, you can do all your research and you can look into who people are, but then it comes to this.
Absolutely.
And how effective can you be here?
Absolutely.
Love it.
It's all about just understanding somebody from a human level. And the thing I say all the time is you could have every tool in the world. You could be told everything. You could be told exactly what to say. But unless you actually care about the person on the other end of the phone or across the room from you, nothing's ever gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, when you're in the volume game, how do you care about each and every one of them?
Mm-hmm.
You learn to, I guess. I mean, you just you have to care about the whole thing.
Yes. It's so I don't know if you've heard the parable of the guy that is on the beach with a million washed up starfishes. Starfish? Yeah. And he's grabbing them and throwing them back in the water and someone's like, "You're not going to be able to save all of them." And he's like, "Yeah, but I saved this one."
Love it.
I love that. I think about it all the time. It's like, no, you can't give everybody the most perfect experience and you can't deeply care about every single person you meet, especially if you're a BDR or if you're in this more like high volume sales. But the people that you are working closely with, if you do just give a damn, then you're making a difference for that one person and for that one sale.
You know Will Brawley, right?
Yes, of course. He's wonderful.
He is wonderful. He loves that quote.
Okay. We've never talked about this.
Yeah, that's funny that you bring it up because he's the first person I think of. He tells me that story all the time about the starfish. He's always talks about starfish.
Yeah.
Funny.
You can save one.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Love it. All right. So give me some of your sales. All right. Let's go backwards. You're going around the country. You're talking in all kinds of different places. And I say that and it's very vague and general because I don't know everything you do. I just see you everywhere. What all are you doing out there?
We're still figuring that out.
Okay.
No, it's interesting. As a tech founder, especially an AI startup in the Southeast, it's a whole different dynamic than if you were a startup founder in San Francisco or New York. Capital is a little bit harder to come by, but also just the game is a little bit different. And what I mean by that is here, investors expect for sustainable growth, where in maybe some of the more venture focused cities, they're expecting growth at all costs. So it's like very different things. With us, we're really focused on profitability. And part of that is, cash flow, whether that's with a software, whether that's with services. And what we're finding in the industry is that so many people want to adopt AI, but they don't even have the groundwork for it.
Mm-hmm.
So our clients actually started coming to us and saying like, "Hey, we want this software, but we need you to train our teams first."
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of oopsied my way into being a keynote speaker for sales kickoffs almost weekly and doing
Got it.
trainings for sales teams where I go and talk to them about the basics of sales, crawling, if you will, and teaching them how to do it manually, walking, and then running with our software. So it's just been a really interesting, we've really leaned into this advisory services side.
Very cool.
Hmm.
So it's all, I mean, a lot of what you're doing as far as traveling around is you're speaking to your clients,
Yeah,
training them.
they're paying me to speak to them and
Why
sell
wouldn't
to
they?
them, which is very interesting.
That's cool though. That's great. I mean, the tool is the tool.
Hmm.
How do you use the tool most effectively? I mean, that's,
Hmm.
of course, I mean, whenever I get on Zinnia, I'm emailing your customer
Yeah.
service. It's the same thing.
And I hope my team's taking care of
They
you,
are.
but
They do. They're very quick to respond. Yeah.
good, good. Yeah. I think the one thing that we focus on at our team is that it's always human first, whether that's, putting our employees first, putting our customers first. Like we are always about the other human on the end. So,
So give me an idea of where this goes.
hmm
Because as we all know, AI continues to evolve and you build one thing here and then all of a sudden that's a part of something else and then that's a part of, I mean, it- how does this sustain?
yeah, I think it's going to be a huge shakeup the next couple years. There's this AI bubble right now. Everyone's talking about it, but a lot of AI companies have raised massive amounts of money and then the products aren't actually delivering or they're getting commoditized or somebody else is popping up and selling it for half the cost.
Right.
So I don't think it's sustainable. And I think that we're probably going to see a lot of companies fade out very quickly because they were focused on growth at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing I think we're seeing is with vibe coding, if you've ever used like Lovable or any of these vibe coding tools.
Tell me what that is.
So you basically can put in a prompt just like ChatGPT and it will actually code for you and create
Okay.
an interface that is a workable prototype that you can actually publish as a working product.
Like an app, like a
An
functional
app.
website.
And you can do this in just a couple of verbal prompts. You can talk to it if you want. You can tell it to iterate. Now, there's still limitations. Like it won't plug into databases very well. You still need some hard code. You don't have security parameters, things like that.
Okay.
But somebody rebuilt Calendly, the
Yeah.
multi-billion-dollar
Scheduling.
company,
Mm-hmm.
in Lovable in a day.
Oh my God. That is so nuts.
And so if we can do that to a company that's been sustainable, it's been around for a long time, then what stands, what's your moat, how do you defend it? Like what you said, what's the longevity here? And
Yeah.
I really do think it comes back to the human element
Right.
is where's the loyalty? Are they getting relationships with the team? Are they being supported from a human level? Are the services wrapped around it really going to be focused on sustaining the business?
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's really where we're going to see it go.
There's obviously there's two kind of modes of thinking and one is that doom and gloom, where in the world are we going and is this really as scary as some of these people make it out to be, or optimism as it relates to we're all human, we don't want it to go that way, so let's figure out how to not make it go that way.
I'll say I take everything as an optimist.
Good.
So
Me
I
too.
think it's important to be aware of what's possible in the negative way just so that we can avoid it. And
Mhm.
there's always going to be every tool out there, every software machinery out there has been used for bad.
Mhm.
But I think ultimately it could be used for good. And I don't know if you ever watched Dark Mirror or Black Mirror on
Yes.
Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah, and you see all these futuristic things. It's like so much of that in that show is already happening.
Yeah.
But the loneliness pandemic or epidemic, right, is
Mhm.
everyone is feeling like they don't have as much human connection. I think a lot of that is because that we're told to work all the time.
Mhm.
And if we can start using AI to optimize some of that work so we can go back to the important stuff, which is connecting with each other,
Mhm.
connecting with other humans, doing the things that matter, not the busy work. I think that that's really where we can lean into it for good.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
You sound like you totally agree.
I do agree in the optimism.
Yes.
I do worry, of course. I mean, it's. I don't think anybody can predict what it's going to look like. I mean, of course, there's going to be parts of us that need connection. Now,
Mhm.
what does that even mean? Does
Mhm.
that mean society halts and stays kind of in this place that makes us all somewhat purposeful and content? No, it doesn't mean that. This is going to shift our world tremendously and nobody really knows what it means.
You read the book Tribe?
No.
Okay, so this book is fantastic, but it's all about humanity's need to have a tribe around them,
Yep.
a group of people around them. And what it actually talks about is during world wars, like for example, the Holocaust, there was actually a lot of studies done where people look back fondly, not fondly at the time, but the
Understood.
people that were, you know, the ones that were really negatively affected were like, but yes, but that was the time I had community around me.
Mm-hmm.
And while everything else was horrific,
Mm-hmm.
it was like that was the power of humanity. And they
The
actually added a
bonding.
chapter to it after about 2020 when it's like everything else shuts down when you're in hiding, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is the neighbors that show up with banana bread,
Right.
right? It's the kids playing chalk outside. It's
Mm-hmm.
all of the things that we have gotten too busy in life to actually focus on and went back to our roots. Like I know that, I had losses from COVID and it was a very hard time for many people. But I also do look back fondly at some of that stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, dang, we really got back to the real stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I know. I went out to dinner with my daughter, who's about to be 16, and she's taking a psych course in high school, and we
Mm,
were just looking at like all the things that have sparked her curiosity from that class, and we started talking about COVID and just kind of societal, norms and behaviors, and she's just starting to kind of open her eyes to these things, and it's a really fun conversation with a younger person who has
mhm,
such a clean slate. And I was bringing up COVID, and I was like, there are things that occur in our lifetimes that shift society. I mean, for me, 9/11 was one of those big
mhm.
ones. Um, but then COVID occurred, and that was when she was 11.
Wow.
And I was saying, as an observer of this young girl's life, like I'm not sure I can pinpoint things that changed about her as a result of COVID. Now, I'm probably looking for negative things, and there probably are a bunch of positive
Yeah.
things, to your point. And so she and I started kind of remembering our time together. My wife is a physician, so she was in the throes during that time. I mean, it was
Mhm,
brutal. Like she asked us to go up to the mountains and live up there while she worked here because she didn't want to expose
mhm.
us to anything from the hospital. And so my daughter and I spent all this time one on one in the mountains, for
Yeah.
months, and it was delightful.
Yep. Yeah. My partner at the time was also a physician. So the other partners and I would actually all stayed in a house together for a while.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, well, it was like a girls' club. We had a sleepover. It was great.
Delightful.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think kind of the pendulum swing that occurred in that as well. Because I think at first there was this almost like freedom, like to party kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to just be fat and like eat whatever you want, drink
Yes.
whatever you want, smoke whatever you want, and then a few months go by and everybody kind of, oh God, I don't feel as good. And interestingly, like the alcohol free world picked up, the
Mm-hmm.
wellness industry picked up all
Mm-hmm.
during that time, and I feel like that was a big pendulum swing from the beginning. And I'm bringing all this up because I relate it to where I see the AI
Yeah.
put the swing going. I just think it's going to be a big old thing that happens, and we're all like, oh my god, and then all of a sudden it's going to kind of neutralize out a little bit.
I mean, that's what we're seeing in sales, right? Is
Yeah.
these companies came out with mass automation to be able to send 1,000 emails a day and do cadences and sequences. And now I'm sure both of us get hundreds of spam emails a day of people trying to sell me stuff.
Yep.
And it's all the same AI slop,
Yep.
And
Delete, delete, delete.
and so now we're seeing buyers that actually are overcorrecting way the other way of like, no, I want the person to show up in person. I want them to get on a plane and come meet me and break bread and I want to do this. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think we're seeing this overcorrection to needing that human element, which is obviously less efficient than getting on Zoom calls. But I think it's a good thing that
Yeah.
we're here.
Less efficient and more effective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take 5 wins every day over 1,000 shots in the dark.
Oh my god. And that I love that because that is exactly where I believe, like you said, that is where we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a pendulum swing backwards. And it's a very quick one,
Yeah.
right? Like
Very quick one.
these mass emails and these mass AI driven sales strategies are very new.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But people are getting sick of it. And the
So
thing that
sick
I
of it.
think is so funny is if you look at every AI tool out there, it's focused on how do we make robotic mass automation sound like human.
Oh, yeah.
Like every video
Yeah.
tool, right? It's like, how do we make this seem real?
How do we make it seem like we're not doing what we're
Yes,
actually doing?
exactly. And so it's like, then why don't we actually just do what we wanted to do?
Right.
It's
Right.
fascinating.
It is fascinating, and that is the optimistic piece,
Mm-hmm.
because it's 6 months ago even it's like, oh my god, we got to all get on the train or get run over kind of mentality, and
Mm-hmm.
then very quickly it's like, this it may have worked early, but like it's not really working anymore.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, the amount of deletes, and interestingly, like as a company and as you know implementing some sales strategy and some outreach, it's like, well, we got to do this, we got to do that. And I'm like, don't do that. Like, I don't respond to any of that stuff.
Mm-mm.
It's like, if they don't respond to the first one, then send the second one and then say this. And if they don't respond to the second one, send the third one. I'm like, if you send me 3 emails that I don't respond to, I don't like you anymore.
Yes.
You're getting the opposite of what you want.
I was on the Sell Better show a couple days ago. It's a sales training show, and we were actually talking about exactly this. It's like, well, the difference between persistence. Well, it takes 17 touch points. I'm like, if you send me 17 emails,
Yeah, right.
no, we're not friends anymore.
No.
But my whole thing is just, how can you add value at every interaction? So even if they don't respond to you, that they found your interaction valuable. So if you send them an email like, hey, here's a news article that is relevant to you and your business, not a mass automated one,
Mm-hmm.
but like, hey, I saw that you guys were doing XYZ. Here's a resource that we have.
Yeah.
Or I did an audit of your website. Here's some improvements you can make, even if you don't ever buy our software. It's like adding value is where people are going to remember you.
Yeah. I got somebody who, and I'm sure the problem is, like, once you get something that works and that is effective, so quickly everybody starts doing it. Right. And then it
Yep.
kind of loses its luster.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. But somebody sent me a video on LinkedIn, and it was the first person that I had seen do this. And this was a few months ago, but we were talking about some just random stuff, and they were going to come into the studio, and we kept rescheduling. And then all of a sudden I get this video, and it's just her talking to her phone, and she's talking to me.
Yeah.
Robbie, hey, I just didn't want to type anything else. I just wanted to let you know, and I was like, man, come in next week. I'm going to make time.
Yes.
It was perfect.
So this is the thing is, if you know Darren McKee,
I don't know Darren.
He's out of Raleigh. He teaches LinkedIn and branding training. He's amazing individual. He's just so cool. But this is one of the things he preaches is like, do things differently. Send people a video, and not one that's standing in front of a whiteboard or something like that. Like while you're walking, so it looks more human, and it is more, and it's not scripted. It's like, hey, Robbie, what's up?
Yeah, little burp
and
or something.
And it works. It works. I'm a big proponent of voice notes on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm typing things all day. So just like, hey, what's up? Thanks for the ad. I love what you're doing in XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
If I can be helpful, great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I actually mean that. I genuinely.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to make some really cool connections just from that.
Love it. Well, all right, we could probably do this for an hour, but let's just keep it efficient and give me or our listeners a little bit of a runway out into the next 6 months of Zinnia and Lauren Goodell.
Yes.
What do we expect?
Well, I always joke that we can make as many plans as we want. And of course, the world, the universe is going to do whatever it wants.
Yeah. 2 weeks, next 2 weeks.
So the next 2 weeks. But no, I mean, I think we're at a really interesting inflection point with my company. Zinnia, we have this rock star team that we've built, and we finally are all in flow. I just brought on my last couple employees a couple weeks ago. So we had our first offsite, all this stuff. So now we're really in growth mode. We've been in build mode, and now we're all about growth. So we're bringing on a couple large enterprise customers over the next couple months, which is great. We're going to probably be focusing more on some of these old school industries, like manufacturing, media, things like that.
Yeah.
We're just seeing a lot of growth there and a lot of help that we can provide. It's been great results for our customers. So we'll probably continue to do that, but our focus is on extending the platform for every single step of the sales process. So that'll be fun.
Wow.
Right now we're helping in the beginning and the middle, but we want to bring it to close.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of all in one workflow. And then we're just doing a heck of a lot more like workshops and speaking engagements and sales kickoffs, which out of everything in my business, I love product, I love sales, but I really love speaking.
Yeah.
It really lights me up, and
Very
it helps
cool.
our company, and I enjoy it. So
Great.
probably a lot more of that for me.
Love it. Well, of course, that sparked another question I want to ask. So obviously the goal are the enterprise clients. That's where you're gonna, become profitable and make money as a business. Um, my company, I need help with sales.
Mhm.
I'm a one-man sales team. Tell me how Zinnia can help me.
Well, right now, I think we have you on the beta too, so we're giving you all the new tools and features.
Okay.
But so you'll see a lot of this earlier. Right now, what we do is we say, okay, here's your day. Start your day. You have 5 meetings. Let me help you prepare for those meetings. You have 5 podcasts. Here's the people in the room. Here's what's important to them. Here's how your product or service could fit into their business.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the call, we will say, okay, we took the call recording, we took the transcript, we wrote the follow up email and created the action items for you. And then once you're done with preparing for meetings, following up for many meetings, then we say, okay, it's time to prospect. And what we'll actually start doing, and I don't think you have this yet, is we'll pull anything from your CRM, CSV files. If you have a list of leads, and we'll say, here's the top 10. And not only here's the top 10 companies, but here's the right individuals at each of those companies you should be reaching out to.
Okay.
And here's the right messaging or video script or voice note script
Wow.
to be able to reach out. So it kind of helps you formulate your day. And so even for a sales team of 1, where you have a million other things going on, it's like, here's the things that you can do to move your business forward.
And that's that's the point, right? Like I have all these other things going on. I don't have a team. We are in growth mode. Like I've got to start reaching out and finding people that make sense. And we have things that, my team is trying to work through, but it sounds like Zinnia is what I really need to be using. I mean, there's a CRM obviously, but integrate and then go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Integrate in and we'll help you find the right leads and know the right messaging that will actually resonate with them. Not mass automation. It'll focus on what's important to Robbie, what's his personality type, what's going to resonate, and how can you be valuable.
All right. All right. I'm going to hold you to it.
Let's do it.
All right. Lauren, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. This has been fun.
Congrats on your success.
And yours too.
Thank you.